tough break for Mayo, but they arrived in Croke Park devoid of any sense of pressure against the 5-1 on favourites. Ger Canning describes the action.
In came Varley, couldn't take it. O'Leary instead for Cork, making a lot of headway. Cillian O'Connor is after him, but it's Paddy Cassan who's got it, booting it forward towards Donnacha O'Connor. Back once again, it comes to Fintan Gould. O'Connor calls for it inside, gets it. Donnacha O'Connor, 3 goals so far in this championship, and he's just got a penalty for Cork. Into the square, dragged back by the fullback, and the referee in no doubt. So an opportunity for Cork then to take an early and emphatic lead in this quarter-final. Just over 6 minutes gone, and Cork go in front. Perfect penalty by Donnacha O'Connor. Beautifully into the corner, and that's another one for him. 4th goal of the season, perfectly placed. Goulding playing today for Cork because of injury, but there is Donnacha O'Connor, and Donnacha O'Connor does what Daniel Goulding can do well, puts it over the bar. Aidan O'Shea jumping with Aidan Walsh, spills loose for Cork again, on there towards Fintan Gould. They're mopping up a lot of broken ball from midfield. They're playing attractively. Alan O'Connor neatly into Kerrigan, and it flashes over the crossbar. Paul Kerrigan's first. And the first man other than Donnacha O'Connor to score for Cork in this match, who lead by 1-2 to a point. Well, that was a nicely worked move there by Cork, finished decisively. 2 against 1, it breaks, and it breaks to a Cork man, and that's John Miskela. Pa Kelly, and the reinforcements arrive, and once again it is Owen Cadigan. Loves to move forward. Playing today in his 10th championship match for the footballers, and it works out neatly for Fintan Gould. They've got a man over, it's Kerrigan, slipping this way and that, and it brushes off a defender, off Keith Higgins, and it's gone for the game's first 45. It's all pressure on Robbie Hennelly's goal, and Cork are looking very impressive. Collected well in the middle of the park by Shamie O'Shea. Challenged by Alan O'Connor. Kevin McLaughlin kicking it in. This time it's Andy Moran challenging Michael Shields. It's still in play there. Trevor Mortimer, loads of forward experience in the pass, getting it back as far as Alan Dillon, dodging around 1-2, then to McLaughlin, and Kevin McLaughlin kicking, and that has gone over the bar. It's Mayo's first point to come from play. It's taken them 21 minutes to achieve that, but they're back in the match, and it's 1-4 to 3 points thanks to Kevin McLaughlin. This comes back here as far as Aidan O'Shea, back into Kevin McLaughlin. McLaughlin taking off once again. Kevin McLaughlin, great chance, great goal! His first ever in championship football. It's a wonderful score by the 22-year-old from Knockmore, and it comes after 22 minutes of play, and there's one between them. He got it, he was in determined fashion, he soloed once, hopped it, and cracked it with the left, past Alan Quirk, and now it's 1-4 for Cork, 1-3 for Mayo. Aidan Walsh drops it, it's collected by Shamie O'Shea. However, it spills to Pierce O'Neill, and Mayo are fighting hard in the middle of the park to try and enjoy parity, and indeed more than parity. Aidan O'Shea soloing. Oh, he seemed to be in between two minds, and the indecisiveness is punished, and Cork bring it away. Pierce O'Neill has 3 Mayo players against him. He still managed to get it out here to Fiachra Lynch, in towards Kerrigan, and it's in the back of the net. Paul Kerrigan. Fiachra Lynch did a lot of the hard work, but that was worth seeing again as Robbie Hennelly is beaten for the second time. Pierce O'Neill beat 3 men to the ball. Fiachra Lynch played it across smartly, and Paul Kerrigan, inch perfect, into the corner of the net. Hit in well in as far as Cillian O'Connor. Ready to take on Paddy Cassan. Dished off here to Andy Moran. Route to goal blocked immediately. having to kick from a distance, but he does it really well. That's a super kick. Andy Moran getting his first of the afternoon. And a goal between the teams again, 2-4 to 1-4. Big, huge one down towards Andy Moran, being policed in there by Michael Shields, who has to be disciplined. Moran trying to squeeze it in, past a couple of defenders. A little block on it by Shields, 45 the outcome. I think he's pleading not just to the referee, but to some of his colleagues that they're under a lot of pressure right now. And Cork really need to lift their game. They look at it and wave the right flag. Robbie Henley gets his first point of the match from a 45, and it is now 1-8 to 2-5. Teams are level in front of a crowd at Croke Park of 22,732. And it is the Mayo fans who are lifted by all of this, energised by what they're seeing, and have been seeing since about the 15th minute. Back to Pat Kelly. Fiacre Lynch now, fisted forward here, beyond Fintan Gould. The link-up play isn't quite as exciting for Cork as it had been in the opening 20-25 minutes of the match. Alan Dillon now. That's nicely weighted down as far as Cillian O'Connor, should be able to get there. Played smartly back into Dillon. This is a really good attack. That's a very good score. Alan Dillon with his first point, and Mayo lead in the match for the first time. It's a goal and 9 to 2-5.
And some of Cork's big players are just not performing. Aidan Walsh isn't doing as well as he did last year's championship. They're only operating really with two forwards. Paddy Kelly, Pierce O'Neill need to get into the game very quickly.
Here is Pierce O'Neill, steps by the challenge of Trevor Mortimer. O'Neill kicks on the run. It's just gone wide. Watch. Now John Miskela, and Miskela to Kerrigan, trying to use his pace here to take on Trevor Mortimer. Kerrigan spots the run inside of Miskela, just lost his man for a moment. Down he goes again. Rory Hickey letting it develop, and the final shot was rushed from Miskela. This is Paddy Cassan once more, stealing across the halfway line. Donegal O'Connor back to the runner. Pierce O'Neill puts the head down and drives on inside to Cassan, looking for Miskela. Miskela does well here, across the face of the goal, and it's up and over. Well, Paul Kerrigan was sneaking in around the back there, looking for anything that might fall in his direction, but Miskela got just enough on. No score for Mayo now for almost 12 minutes. Cork have scored just the once in that time as this game becomes bogged down a little. Space here for Keith Higgins. He had a shot in the first half. He's going all the way, and Keith Higgins makes absolutely certain, carried it as far as he could, and scores his first point of this season's championship. It's enough to put Mayo back in front, and for once there was acres of space in front of that Cork defence.
Well, Keith Higgins doesn't go forward too often, but he's one of the quickest players on the Mayo team, one of the quickest defenders, I think, in the country.
And tense as yesterday's match between Kildare and Donegal, as Aidan Walsh flicks it through to Mark Collins, left it behind. Loose player inside is Gould. Gould! He's blazed it wide. The goal seemed to be yawning in front of Gould, who scored a goal at the other end last weekend. Robert Henley was out on him very quickly, but he really should have hit the target.
Oh, what a difference a week makes. Last weekend they were popping those inside the near post. Today, just a bit of a rush, but tried to side-foot it by Henley. Henley to shore up the midfield, and Heather Gardner, of course, came into the Connacht final, kicked a great point to put Mayo one up in that game right at the end.
Jason Doherty, he feels the shot is on, and he's nailed it. The impact substitute from Borishul, Jason Doherty, has kicked Mayo into a 2-point lead. That was an inspirational score. He knew exactly what he was doing. He's only been in the game less than 10 minutes. And Cork, the All-Ireland champions, are 2 points down now.
Yeah, fantastic score from Doherty. He's won a couple of balls earlier on, dropped one of the...
And Cork will need that now in this home stretch. Well won by Mark Collins. James Horan felt that ball was thrown in any event. His team have won it back. Trevor Mortimer, cheeky little pass to Cillian O'Connor. O'Connor is making an angle for himself. Cillian O'Connor, what a score. He's just 19 years of age. He's Mayo's leading scorer in the championship. That's his 5th point of the match, his first from play. He looked like he'd been doing it all his life. Mayo lead by 3 points now.
A fantastic score from O'Connor, and for the last 10 minutes, James Horan had switched him out around the middle of the field as an extra. Today they put in a magnificent performance that puts them 4 ahead at this stage.
Well, that is 6 points for Cillian O'Connor, 5 from frees, and Mayo extend their lead to 4. Ball, it clips his shoulder as Aidan Campbell, just after coming into the match, sparring quite literally there for a moment with Paudie Kassan. But all's well that ends well. Dennis O'Sullivan now. Outside to Paddy Kelly, who has been kept on a very tight leash by Trevor Mortimer. Using all his skill to get away from the tackles. Flicked through to Walsh. He'll go for the goal. It's flicked by a boot. Out for a 45. Well, he was going for the goal, and it took the boot of Donal Vaughan to divert it out for a 45. Robert Henley, you'd have to think, a very relieved man.
Yes, and a couple of Cork players appealing to the referee that it was a foot block, but not a chance. It was at least 3 or 4 metres away before Donal Vaughan scores today. And of course, as I said earlier, in the Connacht Championship, they had 2 very difficult days conditions-wise in the semi-final and final. Weren't able to express themselves and play very well. But again, it looks like a provincial champion is going to defeat one of the qualifiers. Of course, last year we had the 4 provincial champions defeated. This year, so far, we have 2 of the provincial champions who look like winning.
And things have just got a whole lot worse for Cork. John Miskela sent off by Rory Hickey. They're down to 14 men. The match is in injury time as Mayo try to bring in Lee Michael Shields. He's going to drop it in and hope for the best. Wide. It's all over. Who said romance was dead? Mayo, the team that were written off and dismissed as also-rans, have just knocked out the All-Ireland champions. It was billed as David against Goliath, and Goliath are gone. The Connacht champions have beaten Cork for the first time since 1916 and blown the championship wide open.
From Ulster Bank will now present the man of the match forward to Mayo's Andy Moran.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Andy, you were saying to me there a second ago you probably came into this game in the ideal position, written off by everybody.
Couldn't have been better. Everyone wrote us off. What was it? We were like the European banks there for a couple of weeks. But no, listen, we pulled it together. We're going well in training. And in every second half this year, we've done well. And when we were in the game at half time, it was Kevin McLaughlin's goal kept us in it in the first half. And we were in at half time, we fancied ourselves.
To restrict the All-Ireland champions to just 1 point in a second half of a championship match, that's some going. Yeah,
they were missing a bit of ammo up front as well with Daniel and a few of the guys. But no, listen, Tom Kniff was marking possibly the best forward in the country at the minute. Donnacha O'Connor and kept him quiet. Keith Higgins done the same with Paul Kerrigan. So listen, when that's happening, you always give yourself a chance.
Did you feel this morning there was this performance in you were going to go out and give it your all like this?
I think I've been saying since I started playing for Mayo, if we get 15 guys on the field willing to die for each other, I think we have a chance against anyone. That's the same today. It's if you get 15 guys on the field against their 15, it's a 50-50 game. Bookies might have had us a 5-1, but we believed in ourselves, you know.
Onwards and upwards now, and an All-Ireland semi-final to look forward to.
Yeah, we're going the easy way around it, I suppose. Kerry next. So it's it's something to look forward to. We plan to be doing our recovery session tomorrow morning. The plan is still there. I think when we were in training Friday night, we didn't feel like it was going to be our last training session of the year, and it proved that way, and hopefully we can keep going.
Well, look, Andy, congratulations today and well done again.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
James, did you not read the script during the week?
I didn't read much during the week, to be honest. So look at I know there was a lot of comments, and everything from Connacht football to Scares in London, all that kind of stuff, right through the campaign. But look, we just kept our heads down and worked as hard as we could, and we knew we'd flaws and gaps that we needed to work on. So we worked on that, and we were going to, our plan today was to outwork the team that we played, and it worked out that way. And we won a lot of breaking ball in the end, and got the possession we needed to get the scores, and eventually won out.
I think we were beaten clearly by a better team in the day. I mean, you know, apart from the first half, I think Mayo dominated the second half. Maybe we had a bit of a chance.